it is impossible to overstate how damaging this loser mindset is, especially accumulating for years and years and years. And now this is the position we are in. I remember during the presidential race in 2020, they were really failing on the messaging to connect with the public. As BLM riots were burning cities to the ground, we could not get our narrative out there because people at the GOP apparatus organizations were putting out ads doing things like accusing Joe Biden of being too tough on crime 30 years ago with the crime bill in 1994. It is simply defective efforts to connect with the public. Maybe they don't even really want to. And it raises questions because so much of the postmortem midterm analysis coming from this camp is motivated perhaps by their guilt over their incompetence over many years, shame over their desperation for their enemies' approval, and cognitive dissonance over their ignoble aspirations for power with no responsibility. And more on that in a moment about what the establishment tends to do, even when we have a highly motivated voter base that wants Republicans to take power and really do things to turn our country's trajectory around. A few other structural factors that prevent the GOP from maintaining electoral viability in really, really essential ways. One is that they have permitted great disadvantage by their failure to match the Democrats' creativity on election laws that advantage their voting blocs. In my mind, the opportunity cost here is catastrophic. Democrats weaponize policy explicitly designed to bolster their election performance 10 times before breakfast. They literally will make laws in some municipalities so that illegal immigrants can vote. They are brazen about it. And meanwhile, Republicans never respond in kind. They compete to see who can earn the most praise for passing the voting laws that help Democrats. And that the party has not developed a compelling way to contradict this activity is a highly relevant structural factor that they are not willing to touch because they cannot get over the fear of being smeared by the media for protecting the franchise. And until they get over this, we will not win elections. We are in a position where we must respond in kind because there has been so much one-sided escalation for so long. And that is one reason why I chafe at Republicans who brag about how they helped pass laws that extend early voting, that liberalize mail-in ballot voting, all of these types of things that have been proven structurally to advantage Democrats at the ballot box. And in my mind, this is also dishonorable because it does not protect the franchise. It opens up elections to highly unaccountable activity that is doing a disservice to voters. It is muddying the waters of making sure that our elections are fair and protected and that we can have confidence in their results. So it is nothing to brag about, and yet Republicans are so eager for media approval or simply to avoid media scrutiny and bullying that they line up to help Democrats with these types of laws. And to understand the mindset that pervades figures responsible for protecting the party's viabilities over the years, look no further than former RNC chairman, Never Trumper, Michael Steele, who by all indications is a somewhat controlled opposition figure. He actually discouraged Republicans from being involved in poll watching and other important election integrity efforts once the consent decree that I referenced earlier that was preventing Republicans from doing poll watching and other things for 40 years, because he said it would be bad optics. He was afraid that Republicans would be called racists if they engaged in standard election integrity efforts like poll watching. And it is impossible to overstate how damaging this loser mindset is, especially accumulating for years and years and years. And now this is the position we are in. So it is not clear to me how years of malpractice by the legacy GOP leadership at the very top of these organizations for so long, eroding structural viability over the course of such a long period of time, could be overcome by tweaking quote-unquote candidate quality or by displacing the blame onto President Trump. It simply does not make any sense, and people who are advancing that narrative clearly are perhaps beholden to that arrangement in some way, or they are avoiding accountability for their roles in these failures.